a political person like Pilate, procurator, ruler of Israel at that time, is talking in a political language and wants a political response from this Jesus of Nazareth who's in front of him. He wants a political response because he can't charge him without one. He needs Jesus to say, I am a king, and therefore, since Herod is the only appointed king by Rome, an easy judgment. He's a seditionist, a rabble-rouser, one who's rebelling against the throne, and therefore I have the ability and charge to put him to death. So that was his ploy. He says, give me a charge. I can't use prophet or son of man or any of that. I need a title like king, and then I can go to work on you. And Christ gives him a different type of response. He doesn't speak to him in his political language. He invites him to a spiritual language. And that, I think, there's something important here, because it begins to reveal again who he decides to be for us. He's not bringing a political kingdom into being. Most political kingdoms, by the way, come about by force. Almost every one, including the beginning of our own country, if you remember. And usually there's wars and things like that to keep things in order. So always there's intimidation, force involved in it. That's not his way. He's presenting something absolutely different. And the challenge is to have another consciousness. Again, the kingdom's not a place that he's talking about. It's a change of consciousness on our part. And to enter into a spiritual way of dialogue, which is his invitation right now to have, and asking Pilate, can he get out of that political realm and come into a spiritual realm? And he said, well, the reason of his coming is to be an attraction. And I think we forget this sometimes. That Christ is an attraction to us. And he is saying that the reason I've come is so you can receive divine love. Kind of an awesome concept. What does it mean? So we can receive divine love. He is saying that I'm going to be the attraction for you to answer the deepest yearnings of the human heart. And he says it's never going to be done by force. He said, you've heard all kind of religious leaders running around, and they're going to say that unless you do this and be that and say this, calamities are going to fall on your house. You're going to get ill, you're going to get, the car's going to break down, you're going to have all these woes and ills on you, and earthquakes are going to happen, and tornadoes are going to hit you, and hellfire too, just to make it extra. And he says, but that's force. He says, I'm never going to terrorize you. I'm going to attract you. I'm not going to terrorize you. That's not the way of God. The way of God is not terrorizing us, it's attracting us. And he's not snobbish either. He's saying, I'm really going to go for broke on this love of God for the human family. I'm going to witness it in my whole life. My witness is going to be that the awesome power of love will be stronger than any evil that can befall you. And you can go for broke on it, because he says, I'm going for broke on it. I'm not going to hesitate from it in front of Pilate or anybody else. So I'm going to witness this truth of God's love. And if you don't get it, and you can't get it, you're not going to have me being snobbish about it. And if you don't understand it and you reject my attraction, I'm still going to try again. I'm going to be coming again and again and again until something that makes sense in your life. And so they tell the story. We're sitting here at Mass at Campus Ministry. What's today's date? November 22nd. 22nd. And just about 12:15, we hear a loud noise. And we're wondering, what the heck was that? And it continues. It's not a fire truck coming by or something like that. It is the sound of Gabriel's horn. The end has come. And the whole thing flips right up here. The whole building goes and the sky opens up ahead of us. And the porch is gone. And the first thing I said, we just built a new porch. Everything's gone. And there comes Gabriel and Michael and the whole crew, and they announce, line up. And we start lining up. And the priest says to Eddie, you go first. Eddie has no problem. Eddie went right up. Everybody starts lining up. They're coming from Clarion, from the university. They're coming from Emlenton, my little burg. They're coming from Warren and Knox and everywhere else. This whole community of humanity, all the nations of the world are all lined up before the throne. And out comes Christ of judgment. And we are doing you-know-what in our pants. And our knees are going like that, and they said, oh Lord, what's going to happen to us, And everybody's going to find out all I did. So judgment has come. I'm exposed. I'm done for. And everybody's lined up, and there's a big commotion in front, and it starts coming down. And we see people jumping up and down. We say, what's going on? And the word is out. He's letting everybody in. He's letting everybody in. And people just are going berserk on this. He's letting everybody in. And some people are start saying, but I did all this. I did my prayers. And I gave to the second collection. And I did this, and I did this, and I did this. And I. And they got so mad, they could not respond to the mercy of God. And they decided to go to hell. It is the attraction of the mercy of God to the human heart, where our hearts are restless to be. And it's up really to us to have a response sometime in our life. And when we are able to respond to that depth of divine love, Christ will say to us, I know you inside and out, and I know what you've tried to do, and your gifts of love, I receive lovingly as well.